Hey, I'm Anthony from Bayside, and you're watching Pure Grain Audio. That would be pretty tough, because we've been in some pretty bad ones. I'm gonna exclude places that aren't even venues, because you know what I mean? Because there's probably a bunch of houses and basements and like pizzerias and stuff like from the early days. Last night we played a venue that was the first day open, and so first show they've ever had, first day open, and we got there and they were still building everything. They were installing light fixtures. They were there was chandeliers going all the way down the venue. It was like a long venue. There was chandeliers going all the way down, but it was just a cave other than that, and it sounded so bad. It sounded so bad. The sound was just echoing everywhere, and the stage they hadn't finished, so they just pushed it all together without like fastening it. So it was just there, and then the air conditioning started leaking. So then it was just like it was raining inside, and throughout the whole show, I just kept being like, well, the chandeliers look good. Like I couldn't like comprehend how much time they spent on things like that, other than like instead of like the stage and the sound. We were in Manchester, England once, and we were opening for A Day to Remember, and they had announced their tour, and the whole tour sold out like within minutes, and then they announced the support, so nobody knew who we were, you know, because the show sold out before anybody even knew that we were like on it. None of our fans got tickets, so we played, and it was like 5,000 people or so. It's a huge show, and we walked on stage. As we were walking on stage, we hadn't even touched our instruments yet, let alone played a note, and people started booing as we walked on stage. 5,000 15-year-old idiots like booing us like before we even started playing. And then that was the one that sticks out to me as the worst. That carried on throughout the tour pretty much, to the point where we actually downloaded a bunch of boo tracks from the internet, and instead of playing like an intro music to walk it onto, we just blasted like boo tracks like through the PA as we walked on. I never really get nervous, to be honest. You know, probably just when I was starting out, maybe before Bayside, probably when I was a kid, you know, when I was like 13. Well, people have done crazy things to try and impress us. Not to score free merch, because you'd have to tell them that doing something like that would score them free merch. And we're big on like, we want to be good role models, and we don't want kids to be like idiots. So we would never tell somebody to do something stupid to get something free. But one time we were staying, I think we were in California somewhere, and a kid had a can of hairspray, and he was like, you guys want to see something cool? We were like, I guess. So he pulled his pants down and he sprayed his crotch with hairspray, and he lit it on fire. And we were like, dude, first of all, don't do that, you know? Don't do that like under any circumstances. But furthermore, don't do anything stupid or dangerous to try to impress anyone. Like, we're just people, you know? You don't have to try to impress us. Yeah, we just turned into like parents immediately. We were like, oh, come on, man. And then that was like over 10 years ago that happened. And the last time we were on Warped Tour 2 years ago, we were backstage, and a kid comes up to us. It wasn't a kid anymore. A guy comes up to us, and he says, hey man, do you remember like being in California and like a kid like lit his crotch on fire? We were like, yes. And he was like, yeah, that was me, man. Like, my band's on the tour now. I'm like, so he's like a grown up now, and his band was like on Warped Tour also. He was like 13 when it happened, probably. Really, I mean, any backstage porta potty, really. Like, we have to. I mean, there's so many of those. You know, I guess. I mean, I'm a big proponent of peeing in bottles. You know, like I'll pee in a bottle any day. Especially sometimes we play clubs that don't have bathrooms backstage, and I don't. If it's right before I go on, I don't want to go out to like the public bathroom. Also, like, people talk to you when you're peeing. You know, like nobody has, like, people don't like think that they shouldn't come and ask for a picture while you're at a urinal. You know, because they just think it's going to be their only chance to ask that. So people will totally talk to you when you're like at a urinal. So I'd rather just pee in a bottle than deal with it. It's really not that bad, to be honest. It's like we're pretty good about cleaning up, but more importantly, we have a wardrobe case that goes in our trailer, and it is literally a steel box with hangers to keep all of our stage clothes in. That goes in the trailer. So all of our like real nasty like stage clothes are in a steel box in the trailer. So those stay away. And we always get buses with showers also. Like most of them don't have showers, but we always make sure to get one with a shower. So so it's actually not that bad, to be honest. It's not that bad.